Today on CityCast Nashville, we have got for you the ultimate guide to Music City's LGBTQ plus bar scene. From where to start the night to where to end it, and how straight folks can be good allies while they're partying. We're breaking it all down with Zach Young, former Metro Council member and longtime friend of the pod. It's Thursday, January 8th. I'm your host, Marie Cecile Anderson, and this is what Nashville's talking about. My best friend is a gay man from New York City, and every time he comes to Nashville, he wants to be taken out, and not to dinner. He wants to go out. If I am doing a gay bar hopping spree, where do we start?
Well, like any good Southern Christian, you start at church. Though in this case, it's Church Street, where we have Tribe and Play. Yes. That way your friend can tell his family that even when he came to Nashville, he still managed to get to church while he was here. Tribe and Play are next door down on Church Street. And I think, especially for out-of-towners, it's a great place to go. You know, Play, we're very blessed in Nashville, if we're going to continue this whole church analogy. We're very blessed in Nashville to have a place like Play that actually has national recognition for being one of the premier drag bars in all of the United States. They do a great job recruiting drag artists and performers, having visiting drag queens come and perform from RuPaul's Drag Race and just in general.
Okay, so which one do we start at? And what time of day?
Well, the time of night would be,
yes.
You would start at Tribe, because Tribe is a great kind of loungy or easier going atmosphere, playing music videos, or on the weekends they've got drag shows there as well. And Tribe has no cover, and so maybe that's a great first kind of tipping your toe into the water. Also, if it's during the week, Tribe is a great spot to go to because they have things like trivia hosted by a drag queen on Wednesdays, or Singo on Thursdays. And if you've never played Singo, it is spectacular. It's bingo, except instead of numbers on your card, it's song titles. Also hosted by a drag queen.
I love it.
Yes.
What time do they open?
Tribe probably opens around 4-ish,
Okay.
I'm going to guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know that I have found myself there that early in the afternoon.
Yeah, I think my buddy would be like, we're going where at 4?
Yeah.
But
starting early, maybe Frankie J's is a great place to start because it's over in Germantown. And if you are taking your buddy to dinner, there's a lot of great dining options in Germantown, and you can walk over to Frankie J's. It's a quaint, cozy, really cute, relaxed bar. It's in an old house over by Sonny's.
when we do hit up Play, how much is the cover charge there?
Well, that depends. Typically during the week, it's $5 after a certain time. But typically, if you get there before 9 or sometimes 10 o'clock, you can get in without paying cover. But they often will have certain events or features or something going on. So they'll do different little themes sometimes to encourage some fun wardrobes.
So I always check the social media before I head out.
Always.
Right.
And this goes for all of our LGBTQ spaces in Nashville. Check their social media first before you go, because there might be some sort of special event that you want to, participate in. Or maybe it's just something random. Sometimes they'll do like a whiteout night. And so they want everyone to wear white, just fun things.
Oh, I love it. I love a theme. That's why I love these places. All right. Well, where would we go after Play? Or is that where we end our evening?
Well, I think it goes without saying in Nashville that you end the evening at a place called Trax. That's typically where the evenings end. They're open until 3. I mean, as are most of our gay bars, but Trax is over in Wedgwood, Houston. They used to be in a different spot. They used to be where we actually named a street, the first street in the United States named after a drag queen. But now they're over near where Disc and Cider was in Wedgwood, Houston, right there on Martin Street.
Who's the drag queen we named a street after?
Their name was Bianca Page, someone who raised a lot of money for a lot of wonderful causes like HIV care and research. And we actually have an annual celebration of this particular drag queen. And so Bianca Page Way is the name of the street that runs between 2nd Avenue South and Inslee Boulevard.
Where was Nashville's first gay bar?
One could say the Tennessee State Capitol was the first gay bar in Tennessee or Nashville. Though, if we're going to go by the official the Metro Historical Commission actually placed a historical marker outside where the jungle was, over on Commerce near, I think, 7th, kind of not too far from the library parking garage. And next door to it was a place called Juanita's Place. Sadly, it's a parking lot now, but that could be said about a lot of Nashville, I suppose. But they were opened, I believe, like in the 50s, but really kind of their heyday was probably the 60s and 70s. And I don't know that they were ever specifically advertised openly as gay bars, so to speak, but they were certainly known as gay bars. I believe there were some police raids there, of course, back when that was how things worked.
Well, so how has the LGBTQ plus scene changed since then? And you could just give me vibes. We don't have to get into a history lecture.
Just for the record,
unless you want
I
to.
was nowhere near being old enough to have been there. Just so
right.
I'm sure, it's easy to say that obviously society and acceptance has certainly progressed and advanced since then, though I don't know if that's not something we're beginning to see a little bit of the rolling back of maybe. But I would say, now we have a very thriving gay bar community in Nashville with a number of spots, and they don't have to be in secret anymore. I mean, a couple of the gay bars were selling shirts that had a list of all their names, during Pride, just to band together in solidarity because of what's going on in the state and federal levels. But I would say we've come a long ways since then. And I'm really proud of the gay bar community in Nashville and the culture that we've created and the togetherness it provides.
Yeah. We uplifted Lipstick Lounge and the fact that it's one of the last remaining lesbian bars in the country.
Yes.
It's really an institution here.
Yeah. And for it to be not, many lesbian-owned bars in the country are not in a particular point in history where they're thriving, yet Lipstick is, and they just opened Chapstick. It's a great spot to hang out in the afternoon and eat. And I don't really like sports, but except drag racing.
But I love going there.
RuPaul's drag racing. But it's a great spot.
All right, we're gonna play a game, rapid fire. I'm gonna list some categories, and I want you to just fire off the ones that first come to your mind.
Okay.
Best drag brunch in Nashville.
Okay, I'm going to have to give 2 on this. Maybe that's less rapid than you wanted. But the lab at Zany's has been doing some drag brunches that are great. And then I can't talk about drag brunches in Nashville without mentioning Susie Wong's. So even though Susie Wong's is no longer its own freestanding restaurant and bar, on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, the Susie Wong's drag brunch still happens, but now it's hosted over at Play. It's fantastic. It's really great for out-of-town guests. And it's just been a Nashville institution, so to speak, for many, many, many years.
Do you think drag brunches in Nashville have been overrun by bachelorette parties, or are we still able to claim them as our own?
Yeah, I can even simplify that question or sentence a little bit. I can say a lot of Nashville drag or in queer spaces have been overrun by bachelorettes and disrespectful straight women. And I will say, to try and combat that a little bit, I know the great folks over at Play bought 2 party buses and painted them up as the big drag bus because a lot of times bachelorettes want to experience Broadway and downtown, and maybe they want to be around and enjoy drag, and I'm glad that they want that. And so the buses provide a great way for them to be on the bus and be in what we call the woo girls on the bus, but not in our space.
Yeah, I'll never forget Jeremy taking me to a gay bar in New York, and I walked in and I was like, woo! And he was like, pointed to his sign, no wooing, get it together, Marie. And I was like, okay, I didn't know the rules. And, since then it's like, there are ways to be respectful. We'll get into it I'll get into it now.
Yeah.
I think it's very important. How should straight people come into these spaces with good manners? How can we not be disrespectful?
Well, I think, first of all, when we think about when drag shows are going on, a lot of the times we have bachelorettes and whatnot there. And don't get me wrong, I'm thankful that they're there and wanting to support queer art. But I want to make sure that folks are coming there to enjoy queer art and not to enjoy a spectacle, because gay bars and gay people gathered and we're not a spectacle. We're not an exhibit in a museum to be looking at. It's our safe space to gather and have fun. And so Something that always annoys me, and I will kind of politely sometimes share this knowledge with, and I hate to single out bachelorettes, but 9 times out of 10, that's what they tend to be. When you are going to the stage to tip a performer, tip and move out of the way, because there is a line of people that also need to tip that performer, because that performer needs those tips to pay their mortgage or the light bill. That is their income. And when you tip and you stand there and you're like, you're kind of clogging things up, and you need to move on so that we can get people through the line, because everyone wants to spread the wealth and share the love with their performers. Also, my advice to bachelorettes or, straight women coming into gay bars is, it may be your birthday, it might be your bachelorette party, but it is not your bar, and you're not the show, you're not the center of attention. Don't hop up on the stage. And don't make it about you. And maybe I'm sounding kind of negative when I say this, but, gay bars are a safe space for everyone, and we want them to be a safe space for everyone. And unfortunately, I had to have a conversation with a woman recently I encountered in a gay bar who made the remark to me, "Aren't you so glad? Isn't it so great? However, it's just so safe for everyone now." And she meant like just in Nashville and in America. And I said, "Ma'am, it's not." And then she started to say some things about immigrants. And I said, "Ma'am, I don't think this is the space for you, because until all of us are safe, none of us are safe. I don't think this is a space you need to be in, because queer bars, gay bars, what's so wonderful is that the diversity in so many, and skin color, and where we come from, and the languages we speak, and our cultures. And it's a great slice of the American pie."
Thank you for saying that. I think that's something people need to remember right now when you go into these spaces.
Yeah, and I certainly don't want to feel like we want you to come and enjoy these spaces with us, but I think it's really important to remember that gay bars and the people in them are not a spectacle for you to just come to watch.
Best bar for a first-time gay bar visitor.
Tribe.
Best bar if you're solo.
Canvas.
For listeners who don't know, what's Canvas?
So Canvas is over in East. Now, for the longest time, they were also over on Church Street for many, many years. They moved over to East. They built out a brand new space. They share a building with the Music City Prep Clinic. They have great karaoke there. They do different sorts of, activities throughout the week. They do like a gay bluegrass afternoon. I think they call it like picking on the porch or something to that effect. I forget the exact name. And what's neat about them being right there with Music City Prep Clinic is a lot of time on Sundays, they'll do some like gay farmers market or different markets and stuff that they're able to set out in the parking lot and just really create some great community. And Canvas is kind of well known for always having lots of Jell-O shots available. If gelatin is your preferred mode of consumption, then they can hook you up. And they've got a great patio that they recently enclosed with some garage doors and things. So it's just a really great space. And it's a very great, more loungy, chill vibe to go and meet people.
Best bar if you're with straight friends.
Chapstick for the sports.
Best bar after midnight.
Tracks.
Best queer happy hour.
Frankie J's.
What's the vibe at Frankie J's?
So Frankie J's is this adorable home over in Germantown that Jay, the owner, is just this magnificent human being who is so generous, always giving back to great causes, hosting anyone that needs to have any sort of event. And they've got some great food as well. And it's just in this old home that's been converted into this really wonderful, safe, queer space. And what's great is during Pride, they're conveniently located not too far from where Pride is located down at Bicentennial Mall. And they will often run a kind of a bus back and forth between Pride and Frankie J's for people who want to come up to Frankie J's, maybe get in the air conditioning and chill for a little bit and just have a space to get out of the heat.
Best place for dancing.
Definitely Play. It's even in the name, Play Dance Bar. And I believe the readers of the Nashville scene would agree for many, many years in a row. I think they're consistently ranked as one of the top places to dance in Nashville. And that's certainly the case. Play employs some magnificent DJs. They have a very large dance floor. and it's a great space. I know a lot of college students enjoy coming, but people of all ages. It's great. It's a great space. Great dancing.
Love it.
Most of the time.
Love it.
Every now and then someone like me might get out there, and I'm not what you would call a great dancer.
Oh, best karaoke in town.
Lipstick, of course.
That's right, baby.
And Canvas is a close second. Canvas does karaoke twice a week, and it's some good karaoke. But Lipstick, hands down, especially, and maybe I should gatekeep this, but sometimes at Lipstick, you might find yourself singing a karaoke duet with Grammy Award-winning artists, and I'll leave it at that.
I know.
Yeah.
There are quite some sightings this past year, so can't wait to see who shows up in 2026. And then you mentioned Frankie J's as a place for activists to come together. Are there any other places in town that maybe somebody's listening and they do want to get more involved in politics or just be a more engaged citizen?
I certainly think you absolutely cannot go wrong with Frankie J's. But also I want to highlight that back specifically during the transit referendum, Canvas was hosting, along with Turk Votes, some postcard writing nights and things like that. So Canvas also hosts some other events with the Tennessee Pride Chamber for Get Out the Vote things. I was like a guest DJ along with a couple of other folks, including Megan Berry one time at Canvas, along with the Tennessee Pride Chamber for a Get Out the Vote rally, I believe. So,
oh, that's so fun.
Yes, I lived my DJ dreams, so to speak.
Did you have a name?
Oh, I don't know that I did. I think it was just, I don't think I did.
We'll workshop that.
Yes. The songs I included, I have to mention, was certainly The Chicks and some Shania Twain. And there might have been some Cher. I'm a walking stereotype. I can't escape it.
We've kind of touched on this, but, gay bars have always been more than just a place to drink. Why do you think these safe spaces still matter in a city like Nashville?
Yeah. Well, they definitely matter because, for so many reasons, but the first thing I think of is that visibility and safety are not the same as acceptance. And so we have Rainbow Crosswalks, Rainbow Lipstick, we have Pride events, we have queer artists that come to town, perform on our stages, but LGBTQ plus people in Tennessee and even in Nashville still face harassment, political attacks, and very real threats to our rights at the state and federal level. And so gay bars are places we can go and we don't have to scan the room and think, are we safe to be ourselves authentically here? And there's no code switching. That's like probably the number one reason why they're so important. And I think also going back to what I've talked about, had different political and activism that happens, gay bars often can be kind of an incubator for activism or social change. And so whether it's mutual aid fundraisers for friends or organizations going through difficult times or raising money to support different causes, our gay bars are often a place where we're helping to kind of shape civic life in Nashville. And it's where I think a lot of times we're learning, a lot of people for the first time are learning how to show up for other people and what that means. Sorry, I've put a lot of thought into this, and I've talked a lot about community and the sense of community that gay bars provide, and that sense of community just doesn't happen automatically in a city like Nashville, especially when our city is changing so quickly. People moving in, neighborhoods are shifting, they're changing. A lot of our longtime residents maybe get pushed out because of home cost and whatnot. Gay bars kind of provide this sense of continuity or this place of refuge. And many times when someone moves to town, the gay bar might be the first place they go to try and meet their people, so to speak. I've met so many people in gay bars in Nashville that had recently moved to town, and they're looking to make friends and find their kind of spot and how they fit in our community. And that's just not the same experience that one might have if they walk into another type of bar or establishment or a Chili's, not to hate on Chili's. Our gay bars are, when I think of my best friends and my chosen family, it's folks that I've met in our gay bars in Nashville. And so it's not about alcohol. It's about the sense of belonging and finding out who your people are. It can't be understated, the level of importance that brings to queer people, especially this particular moment in history when we feel like some of the progress we made is beginning to potentially, roll back, or that certain tides are shifting. I guess I'll kind of close this thought on a happier note. But so the joy that we create and that we have in queer bars itself is radical. When we have politicians and people that want to erase trans people, our trans brothers and sisters are systematically trying to be erased by those in power and trying to take away or wanting to take away my right to get married and things, being able to gather with my community and just be joyful and prideful. It's long been said that pride is an act of resistance. And I think that so long we continue to celebrate our safe queer spaces and go be joyful and let ourselves have fun and not only be brought down by the bad things going on in the world, is a pretty radical thing for us to do. And a great way to remind ourselves why we're in this fight. There was a quote, Dan Savage, I'm going to summarize him. He talked about going to funerals in the mornings during the heights of the AIDS epidemic, and then protests in the afternoons, but then going and dancing the night away in the gay bars, because that was why we did it, was the dance and the joy. And so that's why our queer spaces are still so incredibly important in Nashville, and I think will always be important. And so I'm happy to get to share with you my thoughts on them and my love for them, and why I'm always out trying to go to them and spend time there and make more friends and family there.
Well, Zach, thank you so much for coming on today. I just hope that somebody out there is listening, and maybe they've been searching for exactly what you're speaking of today. And I hope that they go out and find you and have a really fun time, because Nashville is a very, very special place for that. And we at CityCast Nashville will always be an ally and lift you up, and hope to see you there as well.
Yes.
So,
CityCast was in the Pride Parade, and we love that.
It was so fun. I cannot wait to go again next year. We'll be there.
All right.
So thank you, Zach. That's all for today here on CityCast Nashville. And don't forget, you can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Nashville neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell your friends, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Nashville newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Toodles!